Okay. Yesterday I have gone through your diagrams, and don't forget to include them whenever questions coming from the students. So the metadata portion, I think I have covered already. In brief, what exactly the metadata is, it tells you more information about some other data, right? It gives more than explanation of semantics and the syntax. Do you know what does it mean by that semantic with respect to your means programming, any programming language? You know, these two are two different words, semantics and syntax. This semantic is associated with the meaning of that statement or meaning of that variable that you are using. Okay. But the syntax is the grammatical syntax that I'm concerned about any language. Suppose I'm using Python, I'm using C++, I'm using Java. So depending on that, we may have different syntax. Like suppose you are writing if x greater than 0.
Airport.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So I'm writing if x greater than 0. So this is a particular line of code or line of statement I have written in say C++. But this particular same code will be differently written in another language, say MATLAB. মানে আমি এইটো কৈছো C++ যিটো syntax আমি follow syntax মানে structure, okay, কোনোবা এটা particular means supposed to be if use কৰিছে condition issue for any particular uh, loop or any particular condition you are applying, they have some definite structure with respect to that particular language, and that may be different from each other if we are using in different languages. Although nowadays all the languages more or similar, but still some languages are there which are whose syntax is different from others one. Okay. So you got it that syntax is that particular structure and semantic is the meaning associated with that structure, with that variable. Okay. So this method gives you more information about some other data. It gives more than explanation of the semantics and syntax, describes all the pertinent aspect of the data in the data warehouse, and the pertinent to whom means primarily to the user and also developer, even the project team. ঠিক আছে? So সহজ অৰ্থত মেটাডাটা মানে তোমালোকে কি বুজিলা? যি ডেটাত আমি বাকী ডেটা ইনফৰমেশ্যন পাওঁ সেই ডাটাবিলাকৰ চিমান্টিক আৰু চিনটেক্সৰ উপৰিও যিখিনি এডিশ্যনেল ইনফৰমেশ্যন আমাক লাগে, we make out them. But the thing is that this is for the user, developer, and for project team. Okay. This information they each of them means either user, either developer, either project whole project team, they can use this information from metadata. So metadata is clear. Bujivala metadata. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then the next thing is that highly and lightly summarized data. The area of the data warehouse saves all the predefined lightly and highly summarized data generated by the warehouse manager The goals of the summarized information are to speed up the query performance. Okay. So you already know that data warehouse what we keep in data warehouse is the summarized data. We're not keeping the data means in the raw form. Okay. We summarize it first, means we are keeping the content small, less, but that less information will give you more details about those data. So the way you are summarizing the data may be either lightly summarized or highly summarized. And this summarized record is continuously updated as new information is loaded into the data warehouse. Remember, data is growing day by day. This does not mean that the data you are pushing to your data warehouse. What information you are pushing is that when some new data arrives, overall the summary may be changed. So we need to update the summary, and only that updated summary portion will be pushed to that data warehouse. Okay. আমি সদায় যিবিলাক ডাটা আহি থাকে সেইখিনি ভৰাই নাথাকো, সেইখিনি ডাটাৰ লগত যদি আমাৰ সামাৰিটো অলপ চেঞ্জ হয়, আমাৰ সামাৰিটো যদি আপডেট হয়, only that updated portion will keep in our data warehouse. Then no need to talk about this end user access tool. You all know that with these tools, the users will be able to access those different summarized information, and on the basis of that, they can go for some strategic decision-making process. You should be very much familiar with some of the end user access tools like reporting and query tools, application development tools, executive information system tools, online analytical processing tools, data mining tools. ইয়াৰ ভিতৰত যিটো সবতকে মেইন ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট হয় সেইটো হৈছে data mining tool. Out of them, data mining tool is very important when you are trying to find out some crucial hidden information from your data. Then you have to apply this data mining tool. But as well as this online analytical processing tools is also very much needed. But I suggest that take a screenshot of this and try to go into depth of this each of them. Okay, although means you don't need to prepare notes for that, but be familiar with that. Reporting and query tools, ADT, executive information system tools, online analytical processing tool. That one I will discuss, of course, very important one, and then data mining tools. Now, yesterday I have given you one question that means you need to draw the diagram of the two-tier data warehouse architecture. That is what I am now going to discuss. And I found it means I really like that you have drawn this figure so well that if you include them in the answer writing, obviously mark will be increased. Okay. The diagram is very important. Always try to include them. Because in our computer science, over first, you know that the phase first we encounter is not the coding phase. Yes, we first encounter the development phase, design and development phase, I must say. And the design phase, you need to overall draw, or you need to overall analyze that architecture. Okay, ভালকে যদি তোমালোকে ডায়াগ্রাম পুট কৰা তাৰ পিছতে সেই ফেজটো কলৈ যায়গে আমাৰ coding phase লৈ যায়গে, and we spend minimal time in the coding phase. We try to spend maximum time in the design and development phase and testing phase. Okay. This question is also asked in the UGNet examination. Should do I need? Don't put the answer like that we spend maximum time in coding. No, that is not the correct answer. We spend the maximum time in design, and different stages are there: requirement analysis, design phase, development phase, then your testing phase, like that. Okay. So now come to this two-tier data warehouse architecture, and that is popularly known as data warehouse architecture with stacking area. We must clean and process your operational information before put it into the warehouse. We can do this programmatically, although data warehouse uses a staging area before entering the warehouse. এতিয়া যে আমি বাৰে বাৰে শব্দটো ইউজ কৰিছো staging area, we will focus on that. What is that exactly? তোমালোকে দেখিছিলা, you have seen that already in the basic data warehouse architecture, we just skipping the data directly from those summarized information we are getting from different sources, right? আমি বেলেগ বেলেগ সোর্সৰ পৰা বস্তুবিলাক আনি ইন্টিগ্ৰেট কৰিছো ডাইৰেক্ট, but we have not included one phase that is known as pre-processing, right? We are not filtering them. We are directly putting those information, those summarized information into the data warehouse. Now this thing be rectified with one technical concept that is known as staging area. So a staging area simplifies the data cleansing process and consolidation for operational method coming from multiple source system, especially for enterprise data warehouse, where all relevant data of an enterprise is consolidated. So mainly staging area is for what? Ye gitar bhitor sobotke important term hoise data cleansing. Okay. So there are different definitions. Sometimes we call the staging area as landing zone also. Karon data bilak yate land kore. Yar pore ami cleansing process to koru. Tar bishothe data kini put koru. Okay. How's orthot koisu? But technically we will encounter some different terms for that, like ETL process. Let's discuss that. A staging area or landing zone is an intermediate storage area where we perform the data processing process during the extract, transform, and load process. So ETL process means what? Extract, transform, and load. Mono role tumalko ETL mane ki tente koa mur logot? ETL means what?
Extract, transform, and load.
Extract, transform, and load. Don't forget it. Okay. So data staging area sits between the data sources and the data target, which are often data warehouse, data marts, or other data repository. These terms we'll discuss. Data marts, I don't now means concentrate only on this data warehouse part. Data mart I will discuss in the next tier. Now look at this diagram. A diagram to Mondia. Data sources, operational system 1, operational system 2, flat files. Okay, from different sources, we are collecting the data. Now keeping them in this staging area. Hey data bilakok ami kod thaisu staging area. Hey data bilakok ami land korisu staging area. Okay, then we perform that cleansing process. So overall this what? Extract, just a minute. Extract মানে আমি এই যে different data source আছে তার পৰা extract কৰিলো. Transform, we perform the different cleansing process or any other such type of processes required to correctly process the data. That's why it is known as transform. And after that only we load them. What we do? We load them into the data warehouse. ঠিক আছে? So extract, transform, and load, ETL process. Then from that data warehouse, different users can access the data as per their requirement and authentication or authority. Okay, now let's see one more diagram for this. Staging area, core area, presentation area. Okay, so there are different diagrams, but that are representing the same thing. Now, as I have already explained now that what is ETL process, let's see the textual definition for that. ETL is a process in data warehousing, and we know that it stands for extract, transform, and load. It is a process in which an ETL tool extracts the data from various data source system, transform it in the staging area, and finally loads into the data warehouse system. Right? No further explanation. Now, this was all about the data warehouse two-tier architecture. যাক আমি popularly জানো data warehouse architecture with staging area or data warehouse architecture with landing zone. ঠিক আছে, two-tier architecture. এই diagram তো ভালকে মনে রাখা. Now let's come to the next one, that is three-tier data warehouse architecture. Data warehouse architecture three-tier took আমি আৰু এটা নামেৰে জানো, data warehouse architecture with staging area and data march. Staging area এইখিনিলৈকে তো আমাৰ up to this we already have in the two-tier. Now one more term is being added here, that is data march. Okay, so up to the staging area, it is very much clear that we are trying to rectifying the data. We are keeping the only required data for the ETL process. Now, from the data warehouse, in the case of two-tier architecture, the users accessing them directly. So they data আছে তোমাৰ আমাৰ যেনেকে এটা যিকোনো এটা company, if we consider any company, then you might find that there are different domains. Sales is there, marketing is there, product management is there, and then IT cell is there, HR section is there. So there are different sections in the single company. Or here's the data bilak, those data from different domains are being summarized into one place. It is okay that they are summarized information, we can access it, but why not to keep them in different sets? You got it? Different sets means different data locations and with a different name. What I mean to say that Amar also summarize information as what we have is the summarized information in the data world. Now, why not to make some subsets out of it? Because that will make our process easy to collect the specific information. Or like HR information kini. Suppose I want the HR information, then I can directly go to that HR subset of that set data warehouse, right? So yarpora ki hobo? What it actually means facilitate is that it tries to minimize this process, and cost will be lesser. Cost will be lesser in the case of time. Okay, other things we'll discuss. So overall, it will be helpful, right? You all agree that? So what we were doing in this three-tier architecture is that we want to customize our data warehouse architecture for multiple groups within the same organizations. For that, we add data march. Is a subset bilakok kolu, subset bilak the example dilu. Those subsets are nothing but your data march. So let's define it. A data mart is a segment of data warehouse that can provide information for reporting and analysis on a section, unit, department, or operation in the company, like sales, payroll, production. Halke buzi pala data mart definition too. You all got it now? What is data mart?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you may look at the figure. So yeah, what we have up to this is our two-tier, right? এইখিনিলৈকে তো আমাৰ two-tier আছিলে আৰু এটা টায়াৰ আমি ইয়াত এড কৰি দিলো তাৰপিছত এইটো ওভাৰঅল এইটো কি হৈ গ'ল তোমাৰ three-tier, right? And সেই third tier to হৈছে আমাৰ data mart. That third tier is our data mart. I don't think that there is any confusion with respect to this figure. Yes?
No, sir, no confusion.
Okay. So the figure illustrates an example where purchasing, sales, stocks are separated. If financial analysis wants to analyze the historical data for purchase and sales or mine historical information to make prediction about the customer behavior. So a data mart is a structure or access pattern specific to data warehouse environments used to retrieve client-facing data. So I'm at a term use here. What term I'm using here is the client-face data. Okay, client-facing data means the data specifically what actually the client wants. Client-facing data. Suppose you want the data of only sales, so you'll get it from the data mart, that is sales data mart. Suppose you want the information for marketing, so you directly get it from the marketing data mart, right? So that's why the term client facing data. I think some network problem occurred. Okay, no problem. So data mart is a structure or access pattern specific to data warehouse environments used to retrieve the client-facing data. This is a subset of data warehouse and usually oriented to a specific business line or team. Okay. Now in this diagram, the data mart is more clear. The different data sources are there. This is our data warehouse. Now, what we form are some subsets. These are the subsets, and that is our data mart. Don't forget to draw this diagram. Okay. So that's all. I think that's enough for today. 2-tier data warehouse architecture and 3-tier data warehouse architecture we have discussed in this class, and try to draw the diagram for the 3-tier data warehouse architecture. Okay. So I think that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.